A news conference that was planned to follow talks between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and U.S. President Donald Trump's Ukraine envoy was cancelled Thursday as political tensions deepened between the two countries over how to end the almost three-year war with Russia. According to Associated Press, the event was originally supposed to include comments to the media by Zelensky and retired U.S. Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg, but it was changed at the last minute to a simple photo opportunity where the two posed for journalists. They did not deliver statements or field questions as expected. The change was requested by the U.S. side, Ukrainian presidential spokesman Serhiy Nikiforov said. Kellogg's trip to Kiev coincided with recent feuding between Trump and Zelensky that has bruised their personal relations and cast further doubt on the future of U.S. support for Ukraine's war effort. Dozens of journalists gathered at Ukraine's presidential office in Kyiv after being invited to take photos and observe a news conference with Zelensky and Kellogg. As the meeting began, photographers and video journalists were allowed into a room where the two men shook hands before sitting across from each other at a table. Journalists were then informed that there would be no news conference with remarks by the leaders or questions from reporters. Nikiforov gave no reason for the sudden change except to say that it was in accordance with U.S. wishes. The U.S. delegation made no immediate comment. The White House did not immediately respond to questions about why the news conference was called off. The two men were due to speak about Trump's efforts to end the war. Zelensky had previously said he looked forward to explaining what was happening in Ukraine and showing it to Kellogg. Kellogg, one of the architects of a staunchly conservative policy book laying out an America First national security agenda, has long been Trump's top advisor on defense issues. Writing on his Telegram channel, Zelensky said the meeting with Kellogg was a good conversation, lots of details. He said they discussed security guarantees for Ukraine and the return of Ukrainian prisoners from Russian custody. We can and must make peace reliable and lasting so that Russia can never return with war again, he wrote. Ukraine is ready for a strong, truly beneficial agreement with the President of the United States on investments and security.
Thank you, Press. Thank you. Thank you. Please wait. Thank you. Thank you. Please wait. Please wait. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
European Commission spokesperson Stefan de Keersmaeker on Thursday stressed that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was legitimately elected in free, fair and democratic elections, as he responded to comments made by U.S. President Donald Trump. According to Associated Press, Trump used an extended social media post on his Truth Social platform to lash out at Zelensky and call the Ukrainian a dictator without elections. He warned Zelensky that he'd better move fast to negotiate an end to Russia's invasion of Ukraine or risk not having a nation to lead. President Zelensky was legitimately elected in free, fair and democratic elections. Ukraine is a democracy, de Keersmaeker said in response to the comments. The rhetoric from Trump toward Ukraine comes amid an escalating back and forth between the two presidents and rising tensions between Washington and much of Europe over Trump's approach to settling the biggest conflict on the continent since World War II. On Tuesday, top U.S. and Russian officials had their most extensive high-level engagement since Moscow sent troops into Ukraine almost 3 years ago, meeting for 4 hours. Those talks sidelined the US's European allies and Ukraine, who were not involved. There can be no solution for Ukraine without the involvement of Ukraine, nor without the involvement of the European Union, de Keersmaker said. Ukraine's security is the European Union's security.
Thank you for the floor. Vitaly Sizov, UITV. On yesterday's statements of Donald Trump, he
contributed much more financially to Ukraine than the European Union has. Can you?
President Zelensky was legitimately elected in free, fair and democratic elections. Ukraine is a democracy. Putin's Russia is not. When it comes to information that the American authorities use, of course, there is nothing I cannot share any light on that. This is something that you would have to ask them.
Information with Trump, from your point of view, why his position is so different.
There can be no solution for Ukraine without the involvement of Ukraine, nor without the involvement of the European Union. Ukraine's security is the European Union's security. So I think our line here is remains steadfast, as I would say. Do you have any other questions on this? No. Do we have any other questions?
President Donald Trump's social media post disparaging Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, a longtime ally to the United States, sparked a harsh rebuke from Senator Richard Blumenthal. Trump accused Zelensky of being a dictator without elections, and of doing a terrible job handling the ongoing war with Russia. The Truth Social post followed Zelensky's public rejection of Trump's recent claim that Ukraine started the Russian invasion. Earlier, Trump said at a press conference in Florida that Zelensky does not know the fate of at least half of the funds that Washington allocated to Kiev as financial aid. According to Trump, the Ukrainian authorities have never provided reports on the use of the money. I think Europe gave Ukraine $100 billion, and we, let's say, $300 billion plus. And it's more important to them than it is to us. We are separated by an ocean, and they are not. But where is all this money that was given? Where does it go? I've never seen any reports about it, the US president asked. In January, Trump also mentioned that Washington spent $200 billion more on supporting Kiev than European countries. Therefore, the American leader noted, EU members should increase their defense spending. They have to level the playing field, Trump said.